G'day folks, I'm Wren, they, them, and here are 5 queer mangas that I think you should read. I have been on a bit of a quest since I started reading manga to find some queer manga, and in that, find some good queer manga. Because I've read a lot at this point, and there are some queer manga that is very sexualized. While that might be fine for, you know, some manga readers, I wanted to find manga that was a really good representation of those queer identities and wasn't overtly sexualized. Saying that, Dick-Fired Island is really fucking good. But here are 5 queer manga that feature different types of queer identities, and these all are amazing. First up is probably not going to be a shock to many people because I always recommend this, but that is Love Me For Who I Am by Kata Konoyama. There are 5 volumes of this. It's so good. I always say don't let the cover fool you, because I had seen this cover before and I was like, not for me. No, definitely not for me, because it looks how it looks, right? But I gave it a go, really expecting to DNF it. 5 stars, absolutely love it. Just ignore the cover of the first one, please. The covers get better, I promise. But this is about a young teenager who is kind of a loner, and at the beginning of this they make a kind of wish for friends, and this boy overhears and he thinks he has the perfect solution. So he invites this teenager to his older sibling's maid cafe. He thinks that this is what this other teenager wants because all of the maids in this maid cafe are dressing as females and are not assigned at birth females. That's what this guy thinks that this teenager wants. But this teenager doesn't really want that. They are non-binary, and they actually end up working at this cafe because, you know, they do get to experiment with cute things. They really like cute things. And actually, them working at this cafe brings home a lot of things for the other people working there. So we do have a trans woman who is finally able to accept herself. We have another trans woman that is able to finally like share her advice and her experience and really get more comfortable in herself. We have a young gay man who is so excited to be able to talk about his boyfriend with all of these other people. It can definitely get really hard-hitting because obviously there is a lot of homophobia and transphobia that happens. It's all kind of either internalized for some characters, or it's very off-screen. You just kind of assume that things are happening, you know? Nothing is overtly dangerous or harmful to these characters, but the friendships that are formed in here are very cute and very supportive of one another. And then there is a relationship with our main character, and then having to explore that and what that means for the person that they're dating. It was a really good exploration on that, because I definitely worried about that when I first realized I was non-binary. I was like, who's gonna wanna like date me? Because then they either have to be queer in some way or go through some kind of existential crisis. But having that kind of representation felt really, really important to me because we don't get a lot of that. So that was really good. I am so obsessed with this series. I cried so much in some of these volumes, but please give it a go. It's so good. I can't recommend it enough. Next up is another series that I am very much obsessed with, and that is My Love Mix-Up by Wataru Hanakure. This has 9 volumes, and this is very sweet and also very funny. So in this we have this main character who has a crush on this girl. He asks to borrow her eraser one day, and on her eraser is the name of a boy, this guy. And so he's like, oh well, I guess she likes him, gonna, you know, give up my chances kind of thing. And then he drops that eraser and this guy picks it up. Hence the mix-up. So then this guy, he still has feelings for this girl, so he's going to protect her little secret, so he says that it is his eraser. So then this guy thinks that this guy likes him. It's a very kind of complicated story to explain, but it's so good, so sweet and heartwarming and absolutely hilarious because this main character is like the epitome of chaos. He's so funny, so dramatic, but he's also such a sweetie because he continues to let this guy think that it was his eraser and that he does have feelings for this guy because he doesn't want to hurt this girl that he likes. But then in the process, he becomes best friends with this girl and he actually ends up falling for this guy and this guy falls for him back, and it's so sweet because it was very much a relationship that neither of these guys thought that they wanted or were interested in, but then the more time they spend together, they're like, hey, I actually like you. And it's so sweet. Just the way they just kind of went with it. I love that. Like, two seemingly straight boys falling for each other because they just got to know one another. Like, that's just sweet, right? And everyone in this series is very sweet. They're all really good friends with each other and they support each other, which is huge. And yeah, just absolute hilarity. It does take a bit to get used to because whenever our main character is being really funny, the art style changes. And I don't like that, but it is still good. It just takes a bit to get used to. But highly recommend if you want something light and fluffy, but also hilarious. Let's go a complete 180 from hilarious to devastating with Our Dreams at Dusk by Yuki Kamatani. This manga has 4 volumes. I need to read the last volume and I'm reading it this month. I'm scared because it's going to be terrifying. So this is about this young boy who is queer, but he is very, very deeply in the closet to the point where he will say homophobic things around his friends to, you know, blend in with the crowd and to make everyone think that he's not queer. But that really eats away at him because he starts to believe the filth that he's sprouting. He gets to a really dark place, but then this random person shows up and convinces him not to hurt himself and says, hey, there's this little like community center, come chat sometime. Somehow that works, and this guy goes to this community center and he actually meets a lot of queer people there. Queer people of all ages and genders and sexual identities. And through seeing all these people and, you know, getting to talk to them, he does start to actually love himself and accept himself, which is so beautiful. And he also wants to help younger queer people around him. And I really hope that in the 4th volume he's able to come out, but if he doesn't, that's fine. But this is a beautiful, beautiful series, and it shows a whole bunch of queer identities, which is super important. I will say this is a really hard-hitting series. In every volume, I've cried. Each volume has its own hard things that it talks about, but they're all really relevant and make sense to these characters, so like you get it, it just hurts your soul. But I do highly, highly recommend this. It's such a good series. Now let's go right on back to the hilarious mangas. So we have Cheerful Amnesia by Tamamushi Oku. This is still an ongoing series, and this is so fun, so very light-hearted, and just, you're just there for like a good time, not a serious time. So in this, we have this young woman who was in an accident, and she wakes up in the hospital with amnesia, and she has forgotten the last 3 years of her life, including her girlfriend of 2 years. So there is a bit of a struggle when this girlfriend comes up to the bedside and is like, hey, this is my name, we're girlfriends, have been for a while. And the woman with amnesia is like, oh my god, you're so pretty, I can't believe you're my girlfriend. And she's so hyped about it that it's just the most adorable thing. Throughout this first volume, it's them trying to, you know, bring some normalcy back to things, but also of this woman just being so excited about her girlfriend and the fact that like they live together. Her girlfriend like goes to work one day and she's like, oh my god, she looks so good in a suit, and like all these kind of things of just this woman being obsessed with her girlfriend. It's so sweet. But it is absolutely hilarious because she's so dramatically hyped up for her girlfriend. It's so cute. And then she's just got the girlfriend blushing 24/7 because she's constantly like, oh my god, you're my girlfriend. And she'll say to everyone, she'll be like, everyone, this is my girlfriend. Because she's so in love with the idea of having this woman as her girlfriend. And it is kind of just about them two like rekindling their love for one another, trying to bring back old memories but also make new ones. And I think it's so much fun. Like, there's not a lot of big serious stuff going on, at least not in this first volume. Very, very entertaining, I will say that. So I do highly recommend this one too. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is one that absolutely took me by surprise, and that is Old Fashioned Cupcake by Sagan Sagan. This is a 2-volume manga, and this is the only manga I've ever tabbed. So in this, we are following this middle-aged guy who's kind of not feeling great about getting older. He sees these like teenage girls on the street having a good time. You know, he thinks, oh, wouldn't it be so nice to be a teenage girl where you can openly show your enjoyment of things, of like silly little things, and it's totally fine. I promise it's not in a creepy way. I have to really think about how to describe this manga because it could sound creepy. I guarantee you it's not. He just wants to find the joy in life again, and he uses the like analogy of teenage girls being excited about things as his like motivation for kind of trying to do those things himself. His younger colleague is like, well, let's go pretend to be teenage girls and go get a really like extravagant iced coffee from a store or something, and we'll sit there and we'll gossip about things. And like, it sounds very stereotypical, and that is kind of what they're doing, but in having these little moments, they are able to have a really fun time with each other. There is that element of joy being brought back into this man's life. It is very fun to see these guys just go on these like almost dates with each other and just have a really fun time. But what happens is that they fall for one another. Of course they do. But the thing I love so much about this is that the young guy falls first and has always kind of been in love with this older guy. And you see that on page. There is no way you could miss that this young guy is obsessed with his co-worker. Whew, I love it so much because it's so sweet to see this young guy being just so smitten, and it's adorable. And then these tabbing bits is when they got into a relationship and they were just doing the cutest stuff and saying the most beautiful things. Oh, I'm really gonna get it, it's so good. What I really like about this, as well as in some of these other manga, a lot of these characters come from the point of view of your gender doesn't matter because I like you as a person. And like, should that not just be the norm? But like, these two have such a beautiful relationship, but this is so, so sweet. And I will say, it took me a while to get into this. Like, the first like quarter, I honestly could not have cared less. I was so bored, like tempted to DNF it, and then I could not put it down for the rest of it. Legitimately, every second that I could, I was reading this. And like, I was getting annoyed if I got interrupted because I was like, I need to finish this because it was so good. So I will say, if you do pick this up and you find you're struggling with the first part, just keep going. It gets better, I promise. But there we have it, my 5 queer manga that I would highly recommend. That's gonna be it for this 5 Friday. Please let me know down below if you've read any of these because I just want to gush about them all the time. Also, if you would like to recommend me any queer manga, please go for it because I always am on the lookout for more queer manga. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!